Welcome to the Black Hills Small Business Podcast. I'm Tristan Emond with Mindful Living Realty.
And I'm Angelia Dale with Gateway Mortgage. Join us as we sit down with Black Hills small business owners, learn about their businesses, and tell their stories.
We're doing it now on the Black Hills Small Business Podcast.
Everybody, welcome back to the Black Hills Small Business Podcast. Today we're with Lorena Freis with the farmer's daughter in Pill City, South Dakota.
Woo-hoo is right. Yeah.
Thanks for being with us today.
Absolutely.
Let's start talking about you personally as who you are in your family. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I have 4 siblings. I'm the second in the family. Oldest daughter, right? So they think that I like to run the family, but please. And so most of my siblings live somewhere other than here. I'm blessed to have my sister here with us, and so that's always fun. And parents live just south of Sioux Falls. So life is good as far as family is concerned.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then, of course, Rick, the husband.
Oh, yes. Rick, the husband, and Moya, the puppy.
Yes.
Yep. We moved down to Custer last year. Thank you, Tristan. We're loving life as far as that is concerned. You found us a beautiful home, and Custer is a whole new town for us, so that's cool.
Yep. And only like 15 minutes away from here, right?
Yep. It's like 15 minutes away from the store. Gives us time to unwind at the end of the day and gear up at the beginning of the day. So it's a nice transition.
And it's really not a bad drive. Like
It is a beautiful drive,
isn't it?
Right? Yeah. The only time it's a bad drive is 5 o'clock in December when it's dark and it's snowing really loud. Right?
Well, yeah.
That's an issue. But that doesn't happen.
The
very
person
often.
like half an hour,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would rather do that than have to deal with all of that traffic. Yeah.
So tell us more about the farmer's daughter. What do you provide? What services do you offer here in your store?
So the farmer's daughter was started 18 years ago by 2 friends. They were both nurses, and they decided to do something different. One of them sold out to another. She owned the store for just a little over 6.5 years. I was a friend of hers, and we worked on the chamber board together. And so when she said that she wanted to sell, I was like, I could do this. And so here we are, almost 13 years later. Obviously, we're known for lots and lots and lots of yard art. We have wind chimes in the store. We have lots of gifts. We're known for having humorous signs. People like to come here and laugh a lot. And this year we added fabric and notions, which has been a really good thing for us to have and a good thing for us to carry. Brings in a whole new clientele.
Saying that, is that because I asked Tristan, he said you guys just started the fabrics this year.
So the fabrics is like 8 weeks old.
Oh,
I know, right? And this shows yeah. And so it's been a huge learning curve. I am a quilt appreciator. I do not quilt personally. There's a difference. But it's been a lot of fun, and it's been very well received. People are really enjoying it, and people like the fabric that we've chosen, so it's good.
Now, do you see mostly locals, or do you have people from out of state?
Actually, because we're a tourism area at this time of year, we have an awful lot of both, right?
Interesting.
All of the locals have come to check us out.
Yeah.
And the tourists, when they see the marquee, fabric, calling my name.
I know it.
Right? And then they come in. And so fabric is very much an addiction.
It's a cult.
Oh, we did.
It's a cult.
My aunt and his mother-in-law. Yes.
Yeah, they quilt.
Yeah,
They
basic
quilt.
quilting sign. They lift the 180 of the car.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And quilters, one of the lines that we carry is called Fairy Frost. It is done by a company out in New Jersey. Very few quilt stores have the entire collection, so therefore I do. And so people go out of their way a lot to come and check out the Fairy Frost. So it's been kind of
Fairy Frost. Okay.
Yep.
All right, nice.
Yep.
So speaking of this kind of tourist destination scenario, how do you stay open year long, or do you have good times of the year, bad times of the year? How does it work?
So obviously from May 1st until September 30th is our busiest time of the year. Obviously that's when most people travel, and that's when most people come to the Black Hills. We are very blessed in that we have 3 million people a year go past our front door. We're super blessed that the Alpine Inn is across the street from us, and people sit on the Alpine Inn porch and look at us all night long, right? They're waiting for their 2-hour dinner. So it's a beautiful thing. They say location, 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 and it is true. It is true. So we're very blessed. We are open year-round because my corporate philosophy says that maybe the locals deserve to have cool stuff to shop too. And the locals know that we're open year-round. So it's a win-win. A lot of them come in before May 1st and after September 30th, just so they don't have to deal with all of the tourists and all of the extra traffic, but that's okay too.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Plus, there's all the weekend events in the off season.
So Hill City is very well known for all of their events, right? We have the quilt show right after Labor Day. Buffalo Roundup brings a lot of people in, and we have the Plein Air Artist event that weekend. A few weeks later, first weekend in November, we have Girlfriends Weekend, which this year is 11 years old. And that promises to be a fun time again. Then we have Small Business Saturday and Black Friday weekend right after Thanksgiving, right? Yep. We have holiday specials. January, we have a chili cook-off. February, we have torta chocolate. And I won white chili last year.
No.
Bragging rights is a beautiful thing. In March is always the antique show. And then in April, we start with Easter in the season and all of that kind of stuff. So we try our darndest to get people here all the time. Yeah.
And Hill City is still such a nice community. Like we came last year for the Parade of Lights.
Yep.
And the holiday fest. We didn't get it down this time. And then 4th of July, you guys just have your parade. But it's a nice community, little community that's really
trying very hard to maintain that community feel, right? Because people miss that, honestly, in the busyness of big city life. People miss the small townness. And so, we'll be small town. Come and visit us. Yeah. Absolutely.
So you talked a little bit about it. Let's go back to you tell us your story of how you decided to okay, let's move to the Black Hills and let's do a business.
So for years and years and years, Tristan and I exchanged phone calls and emails about property that was available. It was a long time ago.
I mean, that was the beginning of my real estate career. I remember because I just got into one of my office, my personal office.
Yep.
It took me a while to get there. So.
Yep. It was crazy because we were here 4 times a year. And Tristan would always, hey, we got this. Hey, we got this. Or I would be hounding, hey, I see this. What's this about? Kind of thing, right?
Yep.
And so finally in 2009, the economy took out one of our jobs in Iowa. And Rick and I had a decision to make. Does he start over there? Or do we move to where we want to be and start over? And that way, no matter what happens, we'll be where we want to be. Yeah. And so that is how we ended up coming out to the Black Hills. We were very fortunate.
You weren't there.
I was not.
But remember the cabins that we were looking to buy at Custer?
Yes.
Rick and I were at the home inspection, and it was sub-zero, no power on, no heat in the cabins. In the middle of December, it was freezing cold. It was quite.
It was freezing cold, right? And by the grace of God, that deal fell through. Because that would have been an extraordinary amount of money. And so then a couple of years later, actually, we ended up finding a place, and everything fell into place. So then it was time to move.
Everything seems to happen for a reason.
Everything, and I am a firm believer in God coordinates everything. Right, and so therefore, when God wants it to happen, He'll make it happen. And so, that's just the way it is. It's what I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I've seen it
many times,
especially,
right?
selling homes.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, we were a while together where people were like, we've just come and visited. We just love this. Oh, we have friends that actually visited 8 different states.
Yep.
And chose South Dakota.
Yeah.
To move. So.
Yeah. So
when they decided to move, it's just boom there to the house. It just.
Yeah,
and just
everything balanced, right? And we sold our home in Iowa in 3 days, and Rick's job was done, and
quite. I mean, that back then it wasn't as crazy in the seller's market as it is now.
No,
selling a home in 3 days is a pretty
monumental feat in 2009 because we were just coming off of the 2008 recession. Yeah, so it was all good.
Let's talk a little bit more about Hill City.
Okay.
What do you love it? What do you love about number one, doing business here, and number 2, living here? Well, maybe vice versa. What are we going to do?
So the best thing about Hill City, as far as a business owner is concerned, is that we work together as business owners, right? Our job as business owners is to keep people in Hill City for as long as possible. And so if I don't have something that somebody wants, I'll send them 3 doors down to Hippie Rockstar, or I'll send them down to Things That Rock, or Jewel of the West, or Stage Shop 11, whatever it is. But we try and do our best to keep them here for as long as we can. And Hill City, quite honestly, is powered by women-owned or women-managed. There is, yeah. There is like 25 businesses on Main Street that are either owned by women, co-owned by women, or managed by women. And so women kind of rock in this town. And so I love that. I love being an integral part of the community. I believe that you get as much out of a community as you put into it. And getting involved with the merchants group and getting involved with other merchants and getting involved in their world and helping them out and giving them encouragement. And, we have...
Like the Hill City Chamber of Commerce, their Facebook page, they share stuff from your pages.
Absolutely.
Everybody kind of shares everybody's stuff.
Yep. So, I mean, it's always been kind of a belief that, the chamber does an awful lot of advertising to get people to town, but then maybe as a business owner, I have a responsibility to get them into my store, right? And so Facebook helps with that. Instagram helps with that. I just started television advertising, so that helps with that. So there's a lot of different things that work well together to get people into our stores.
Plus, you got such a cutesy store, so
I know, right? It's beautiful.
What was a bit of a rooster out there that stopped everybody? Most of it. Do you still have the rooster?
So we have gone through many roosters. Okay. I think the last time I was at market, I brought like 6 of them home, and I think I only have like 2, maybe 3. Yeah.
And then there was a goat or something.
There was some goats.
Oh, I didn't see
for
the goat.
years. There was Billy Goat. Yep. And for years before that, there was Jack the Miner with his burro. We had Jack, and the burro was down the street in Paris Stage Soft Leather. And so, I try and be different, right? Who wants to go into the same thing store after store after store? Yeah, I don't. I find that exceptionally boring. So if I can be unique, if I can be different, bring it on.
Yeah, you can tell them some tourist shops, they just basically bought the same stuff. The same t-shirts.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, that's what, like I said, is nice about being a smaller community. First, you can say, okay, if I don't have this, it's down the street. Here, these guys have. Yep. But again, it's something a little bit more. Everybody's got something unique for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. And Hill City was very blessed in that probably 18 to 20 years ago, we had a core group of people who were very insightful about the future. And they started the art community in Hill City, right? There's a lot of artists that find great vibes in Hill City and great energy in the city. And so they are fabulous artists. The galleries started, and then the boutiques came, and then the antique stores came. And so now we've got some really good mojo going on.
Oh, yeah, there is. Because I met the Jewel of the West.
Jewel of the West.
I met her a couple months ago, and then I know Randy pretty well with... We should have let's go and see Randy.
Yep,
because he's
over at Waterford. Yep. I mean, his sprinting. It worked out amazing, and he's won awards, right? Yeah. And so it's very, very cool. Very, very cool.
Yep. Thanks.
Yeah.
What do you love about living in the Black Hills? Now they ship from Ohio around.
Everything.
I mean, that's corn, so.
Quite honestly, number 1, there's no humidity, right? Number 2, there are very few mosquitoes, except for this year. This year's a little bit too. Yeah. And so those are my 2 favorite things. But the thing I love absolutely the best is that even in the dead of winter, the most number of gray days in a row since we moved here 15 years ago has been 5. I'm so happy with that. Blue skies and sunshine, bring it on.
It might be 0.
Might be 0, but exactly. And even if it's 0, it's only 0 for a day, not for 3 weeks on end. Forever. Yeah. So that is very good. And then I've created lots of good relationships here, and so that makes it home, obviously. Family. Yep. Absolutely. When people walk in and first thing they do is come and give you a hug. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? There is nothing wrong with it.
It's like it's still a small community. I grew up in Deadwood, live in Sturgis now, and it still has that feel.
Oh yeah, very much so.
I assume you have people that if they come back every year, they're coming back here every year.
Yes.
And they're saying just checking in and
you
get to know
checking in. Right? I mean, during the motorcycle rally, there are like 5 or 6 different people that I wait for them to come in the front door. Right? Just because it's great, and we are now friends, even though I'm usually behind the counter, right?
Yep. But they've got that relationship, and they know when they walk in the door, you're going to greet them with a smile.
Right.
Not that you're not that you're going to do it for everybody, but you know what I'm saying.
Right. Exactly. But when you get to know them a little bit better every year, you just give them hugs. And everybody's like, well, I can buy that at a big box store. Yep, you can. But I guarantee you, when you walk into a big box store, they're going to hug you. right? Because then they'd be charged with sexual harassment. Such thing, right? Yeah, no, it doesn't bother me. And people come into my store because of that, right? Because they know that we've got a good relationship and
It's always loud.
yeah, always, yeah. And not too much grabbiness and stuff makes my life happy. Yep. A good thing. Yep.
Any challenges of doing business in Hill City?
So of course, there's always challenges. There's always challenges in life, right? And that is not any different than being in business in Hill City. But as a community of business owners, again, we work really well together. So if something doesn't work well for somebody, okay, we figure it out.
Yeah.
Yep. We work together and figure it out. So that's an added bonus. And you know as well as I do, life happens. How you react to life, it depends on how much joy you actually get out of it. But it's
Right. 100%.
yep.
Anything else?
No, I keep looking around going, oh, I need to go buy that. And I'm horrible. I'm just
So far, she's been the best of the podcast. She's like buying things that we.
I signed up for classes.
And that's not bad.
No. Well, and I knew you guys were here, but like it is nice for this podcast because you get to see little stores that might not be familiar with people. You know, I'd grown up here and I've lived here forever, but it's like, oh, I didn't know we had Cindy's Canine Treats kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then even like these, it's like, oh, I'm going to buy that for a friend over there and Christmas gifts and things like that.
Yep.
And horrible because there's a whole variety for pretty much everybody.
Yes.
It seems like it.
And I actually tell people, particularly during the holidays, you can start and stop your Christmas shopping in Hill City.
Yeah. Oh,
Because you're going to find things in Hill City that you're not going to find in big box stores.
Yes.
And we're okay with it.
Yeah. So even like coming down from Sturgis, we'll come down. We used to go to Rico's a lot when Liz was next door.
Yeah.
Here and in the Rock, we have to go to the Rock Shop. That's a cool place too.
Yep.
And, so, yeah.
We have a lot of Corey are beautiful peoples.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know.
Yep.
I know. That would be a good, And I like my jewelry. I'm like, and
And that's not the one.
exactly. Yep.
Exactly.
No,
It's all good.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us on this week's Small Business Podcast. See you in the next one.
see ya.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed that story as much as we did.
We'll put all the contact information of every business in the show notes or the description below. Be sure to check them out and support our local small businesses.